everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Heaven's Vault. Last episode, we made our way to the Withering Palace and started looking around. We found evidence of a struggle, of a fight. They've mentioned robots a few times. But we still need to look through and see what we can find. This is the outline of a hopper source, Mistress. It appears someone here was investigating ancient projectors. Hopper sources? Anything to do with Kaya? Perhaps, Mistress. There is not enough here to be sure. Stock fast. I believe the wood has warped in the frame, Mistress. Anything here we can use as a battering ram? You may not remember, Mistress, but I cannot pick anything up. Let's try this. There, open. We could use this to go out, but I wanted to go upstairs first. Let's see if there's anything upstairs. I'm curious. Maybe there's a way through across the roof. Mistress, please do not plummet anywhere. Another few lines on these papers. This is blurry and unreadable. Okay, we have C. U. What? I can add my translation for what to my dictionary now. I'm certain of C as well. Which leaves this one. Let's see. Do speak, not speak light. Do speak, not speak light. It can't be sing. I want to say draw. That makes some sense. Draw what you see? I can see them more clearly.
A circle of stone gods, staring each other down. Each one daring the others to blink first.
A few I know and a few I don't. Timur always told me there were 7 ancient gods. Though where he got that from, I have no idea. There's something here, almost completely buried. A silver telescope engraved with the impression of a sun. I would estimate it dates from ancient times. Whoever made this didn't add an inscription on the casing. I'd say that this comes from the same source as the Chronicles of Mazwai I found here. We've got a lot of leads on the site of the ancient library of the Loop now. This will make it easier to locate. A fallen rock. I'm glad I wasn't standing here when that came down. There's a pit in the ground down there. It's not unfinished building work. Perhaps the palace continues underground. The stones were removed here, lifted away. Someone broke into whatever's below. Interesting. The eagle and the sun. A table set for a meeting. Looks like it ended in an argument. Could have been moments ago. The eagle and sun. That dates this site beautifully. That means it's definitely related to the Empire. What are they all looking at? Ah. There's something wedged under here. A serpent god model carved from crystal. It looks like something from, at latest, the earliest Empire period. The ancient gods still had some presence in Empire times then, but I wonder if these statues were devotional or if they were simply old and precious. His head has been etched with glyphs. This one is a broken piece from an even longer phrase. That one might be hope. Therefore. Does. No, maybe not. Maybe this one is do not. Aha! I think do not must be right. It's a long one, but I think it must say hope. Do not something hope. Do not take. Do not take? So the opposite of lose. I think this is do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. Most likely this comes from the same site as a shattered knife I found here earlier. Got a lot of leads on the pre-Empire site now. This will make the site easier to locate. Well, that's certainly good. Camel's teeth? What? I'm glad I'm not doing this in the dark. This whole structure is intact except here, but there's no boulders, no signs of impact. I think this was demolished. Whoever dug through the floor outside broke in through here. Only, why would they break down the wall when there's an open door? And not to make a way through for them. There's an open door in the hallway, after all. I'm sure whoever smashed this wall down, they did it solely to make a path for a robot. We don't really have any other things here. So I guess we'll go down and back through the wall, through the door that we opened up. Mistress. Maybe someone brought robots with them, built the ramp so they could get in, or then again, maybe they took some robots away. Maybe this place housed robots. Interesting, mistress. Robots would certainly not object to the conditions here, though they would object to all the stairs. It's an interesting thought. This is the room we glimpsed through the blocked door. Somebody huddled here to keep warm, burned what they could find. Books, most likely. It seems to be a compass, dating from the earliest days of the nebula. Curious, though. Most compasses point towards Iox. This one doesn't. Where does it point, mistress? Out there somewhere. It doesn't have any inscribed symbols on the casing. I'd guess that this comes from the same place as the telescope and the Chronicles of Mazwai. There must have been a strong connection between these two sites. This should make its location easier to find. Let's see if I can get anything out of this book. Oh, Jesus! There's a few words in this one. Oh, dear. Okay, at least we have bee and plant. Just to write some of those down. Empress, we have there. Palace. I want to say this is B. Die. And there's got to be more. Does plant. I'm trying to put in everything I can here. Try and cross out some of these. but it won't let me. Oh, no wonder. Forget that then. One empress does, plant, die, palace be does. That can't be right. Can we even solve this one? Fairly certain of empress and of palace. Maybe that's not die. I bet withering. This one might be withering. We don't have enough words. We can't solve this one. Mistress, I do not wish to alarm you, but I am sure I heard something moving nearby. What kind of something? Stone, mistress. Stone against stone. You think the gods are coming for us? No, mistress. Something below. 6. Is there a vault here? Have we found it? Found the vault? I understood this was the Withering Palace, mistress. This place is a palace, not a vault. Okay, so it's not the vault. Another door, stuck fast. How old would you say the site is exactly? I would date it back to the very first days of the Holy Empire, mistress. Probably constructed during the reign of the first empress herself. Ah, a mural. Similar to the one we saw in the Emperor's graveyard. Perhaps this one is slightly older, even more worn. A line of figures, some stooped, some young, gathered together, then falling, a bright light. That's all I can make out. Did the first empress, who declared herself holy, did she still believe in the older gods? Still fear them? Can't go out that way. Nothing else up here. This ramp is a door. There's no way it fell like this. Someone made themselves a way through. Someone with a robot. What's this? A charred nebula chart, dating from ancient times. It would seem to be inscribed, mistress. Ah, more inscriptions, yes. This is the end of a longer line of text. Okay, we have temple of wind. Maybe it's not of. At never wind. I'm just putting this all together. Forget that then. Temple at of wind never. We don't have enough. Most likely this comes from the same site as the compass and the telescope we found here earlier. That suggests people commonly frequented both these two locations. Easier to locate that. We could clamber over, or we could just walk out.
The rock had been scooped out to make a roof for the courtyard, keeping it safe from the endless storm beyond.
It's so quiet.
This was a secret place.
What do you think, Six? There is something about this place, mistress. I cannot, as you might say, put my finger on it. 6? Is there a problem? I do not know, mistress. I suppose so. Perhaps you heard something about this place? No. More than that. I believe this place is familiar to me. And yet I have never left Iox except in your company. I do not understand. definitely investigate. There are some carvings here. Not much visible, the dust has worn it all away. A few images, but it's hard to see what they are. These stone panels must have all been inscribed once, telling some kind of story. Gone now. This door seems stuck. Anything on this side? This looks like an altar to me. Is this a temple, then? Did the emperors secretly worship the ancient gods? And something's been chiseled in here. Beautiful workmanship. This one is a phrase, run together. Death is... Okay, that one is... Some of these letters are very similar to each other. Death is... If that is open... I'm not sure what this is. Light, go... Door? Death is a door? Does death is door make sense? But if death is a door, what's on the other side? Was this a hospital? Safely away from everyone else? Did Kaya die here after all? But why would Kaio have wanted to come here? I don't understand it. Someone wrote something on this pillar. I've never seen ancient symbols scrawled like this. Written in charcoal, I think. Oh, geez. This one has several words. And... that's all I can think of. We don't have enough for the rest. Kaya said she had a place here, alongside the mechanicals, that's what she said. But all I see are books and statues and dusty stones. That's a way down, but we're not going to go down right now. Have you worked out what was troubling you yet? Yes. No. There was a chair. What? Here. In the center of this place. A chair. On wheels. I sat down in it, mistress. They put something on my brow. What do you mean, sat? I sat in a chair. Golden, painted of course, carved with leaves winding up its legs. Faces watching me. I remember the texture of the wood. I could barely lift my head, but I lifted it all the same. Mistress, I was tied. Something's happening to you, Six. There's something here doing something to you. I am myself, mistress. I am not surprised if that upsets you. We should get out of here. I control the hopper, mistress. I will not activate it for you. Do you have an off switch, maybe? Do you? Now be quiet. I can't hear above your chatter. We're always going to have fun taking you apart. We have the 6 gods here. Let's investigate each of them. The serpent god from the domed market moon. We have glyphs. This isn't a word I already know. I'll have to make a guess. If that is serpents, then this one is probably serpent. But I'm not sure. I do still think that's city. Is it serpents? I don't know what this symbol means, but we have plants, place, rock. I'll put in serpent just because it seems to make sense, at least with what I have before. Serpent, as we thought. The horned goddess from the Emperor's graveyard, still weeping. But we don't have anything else. This one is Cabenia, the water goddess. Nice to see an old friend out here. I know these glyphs at her feet. They say water. That confirms my theory. So that's not the two lines, just from what I can tell there, that's that curve. Most curious. Yes, I see. Can we use it? Do you really want to? I don't know, but you could. My ethical core would not permit that. If this hopper directed one underground, mistress, then one would require another hopper inside that space to return. Is this a place of execution? A hopper set up to carry you straight into a rock? It is indeed possible. I don't recognize this one. God, goddess, I can't tell. Perhaps it's supposed to be a child. A cairn of stones. These must have been placed here deliberately to mark this god in particular. I wonder if behind all of these... There. More glyphs. That might tell us who this god is. Just one word. At least it's short. We have place of rock. Ground? Ground. That will do for now. A goddess of the earth. This one is reaching for something. He's fruit-picking, perhaps. I'm already sure of these symbols as well. They read as sky. A god of the sky and rivers? Is that who you are? The wooden goddess from the theatre in the domed market moon. Let's see now. Sun does make sense. Sun? I think that's correct. That would explain what it's giving. So we have serpent, possibly. That one is most likely death. Water. Mistress, I have completed my analysis of the hopper eye. I have sent test packets through and analyzed the minor refractions. I would like to leave now, mistress, but I cannot hopper us from under the rock. We have obtained 6 ancient artifacts here. Also, we have pinpointed one new location of note, a pre-Empire site. I'd like to activate the hopper now, mistress. What's the matter? Are you going to tell me what that hopper does? I observed 2 things about the hopper. Individually, they are of trivial interest. Together, they are as we feared. Just tell me. This eye is flawed, mistress. Internal cracking means it can only refract some of the information passed to it. Specifically, the physical matrix is not refracted. If used, only the neural mesh would disentangle. It's only half a hopper. Indeed, mistress. You might hopper to the eye and never arrive. My second finding is, however, more pressing. This hopper is not broken. It has been carefully engineered to function this way. But what good is a neural mesh without a physical matrix? Maybe they brought a matrix with them. Perhaps so. Could a neural mesh be stored? Kaya was. Shall I use the hopper again, mistress? Not just yet. We saw Kaya's face. No, we did not. We saw a mask stored within her holographic projector. Just as my face is not my own. What good is a hopper like that? I am not sure, mistress. I can only see one purpose for it. A way to imprison people, permanently. A way to bottle them. So Kaya was here, some time ago, and they used that thing to do it. Someone did this to an empress. Stored her in that foil we found. On her deathbed, perhaps? What happened to her body? It will have been lost as entropy, mistress. In a very real sense, mistress, it would have returned to the rivers. There's something in the stone here. I've never seen anything like it. It's a device of some kind. 6, what do you make of it? Evidently it is old, mistress. Evidently it is very old. Tell me something specific, robot. I would estimate the metal in this piece to be nearly 2,500 years old. Another artifact from the Great Forge Roy mentioned. It is possible. But we still do not know where the forge is, or even if it existed. Is this lined up with the eye? This is a line to the hopper eye. I believe it is a hopper's source. Yes, mistress. A sort of emitter, although it is clearly defunct. That raises even further questions. And why the gods, then? The source appears to be aimed directly at the hopper eye, mistress. Directly at the hopper eye. And this is right in the middle. That raises even more questions. Evidently it is both like and unlike the Emperor's graveyard. So this is a source that goes directly to the eye. An eye that only transmits minds and not physical bodies. This is a very curious place. What was its purpose? It's gone. There's nothing more. The voices are gone. What do you think they were? Who? Friends. Children. A whole life's worth. I think now we can try to clamber down. See what's underneath. Wait here, 6. I'll be back. Mistress, please, do you really have to? Oof.
Empty, cold, stale air.
What is this place? What was down here worth taking?
A cavernous space all around me.
Aaliyah, what have you found? Is this a treasure vault? You could store vast amounts here. This isn't Renba's mysterious vault, surely. What was that? I'm sure I heard something. Sure of it. Ramps. No stairs. Easy now. Don't want to fall. I kicked a stone. That was the noise. Definitely not something moving around down there. I seem to be whispering. No. Seriously, what was that? I definitely saw something moving. I wasn't even trying to go back up. She went back up herself. The noise is gone now, I think. This space is huge. It's so cold. You must go right the way down to the core. I don't like it down here one little bit. This isn't a good idea. These walkways are steep and narrow, and who knows what's down there. She won't go down. I don't think she ever will. But that raises so many questions. I'm coming back, 6.
There was something down there. I'm sure of it.
Shall I try the hopper one more time, mistress? Yes, do it. Be ready, mistress. I think we found all we can in this place. And so we left the surface of the site of the Withering Palace, with enough new evidence to find an undiscovered site. Okay. And I'm pretty sure this episode has gone on long enough. Once we get back in the Nightingale, I'll end it. Oh, come on! I thought we'd be back in the... Well, you know what? I'm going to end this episode right here on this map. We'll pick a place afterwards. That'll be in the next episode. So until then, I'm Chester44. That is Aaliyah and 6. This has been a Let's Play of Heaven's Vault, and I shall see you all next time.